Hey, everyone. Welcome to Fentanyl Facts and Stories. Man, this light is awful bright. Oh my God. Killing me. Give me another suntan. Black enough.
I was just
All
gonna say,
right.
if you feel like you're back at your old job where you're, talking to someone in the room with the light
Mm-hmm. It's,
interrogation.
it's it. Interrogate them. But yeah, I kind of missed that a little bit.
Hey, anytime you want to come and interrogate, I got a lot of people I could give you. I got a list.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, I kind of miss it. Miss it. A little bit. Not too much. The All right. Well, the holidays has passed. We're on the verge, on the wake of another one coming up, and you had told me that we're going to be pretty busy, and
yes.
I actually, I almost was gonna just stop the shows until January, because I'm taking a break from the other shows, and but you know what? The show must go on, so we'll continue doing what we do every week, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Fentanyl Facts and Stories. I'm Charlie Perry, and this is Paula Santos-Young. If you don't know already, we are here on Facebook Live. We not on, excuse me, on LinkedIn today, um, and we're also on YouTube on the Really Charlie channel. All right. So, Paula, you had come across some information. Tell me what you came across.
So a couple days ago, there was a huge bust in Dorchester. I don't know if everyone saw that, but it was related to fentanyl, $87,000 worth.
Hmm.
And it was a residential neighborhood. It was actually two apartments, two separate apartments. And again, this is what we keep talking about. We keep talking about that this is an issue. This is a huge crisis that somehow some continue to think that it's not. I know that I've been reached out by a lot of people because the CDC came out with an op ed indicating that overdoses are down. And I think if anybody remembers our podcast from 2 weeks ago when we had, Deputy Chief on from Massachusetts, he indicated that that is not factual.
Hmm.
That yes, some of the overdoses are down in reference to people are using Narcan, but the fatal overdoses are not down. They continue to be at an all-time high. So this is what I think people need to understand, and this is why we bring people on here that are seeing this every day and are bringing you the facts. Um, I just think that people need to understand that when you're hearing these things, please understand that, get the facts correct. And I know someone can say, well, Paul, it's the CDC. I understand that. But go talk to your local paramedics, go talk to your local police officers, talk to the people who are seeing this every day, and they will definitely tell you that that is not the truth. So let's please remember that we have to continue to be vigilant. We have to continue to be aware. As you all remember, a couple weeks ago, we also had former agent Eric Caron on, and he was very specific on the cartel being right here in Massachusetts and doing what they're doing. So they're not giving up. They're not stopping their production. There was a article that came out in the Associated Press that Iran has done a missile of fentanyl.
Hmm.
So that's something that Homeland Security, the DoD, Department of Defense, FBI, everyone is already aware of. And these are the things that we keep talking about. We're not here to give you a scare tactic. We're here to tell you the facts and the truth. You need to be aware. You need to not take anything from anyone. And if you are taking something, make sure it's a prescribed medication from CVS or your doctor, or don't even take anything from anyone in the street. because as we've indicated time and time again, and you have all heard many of the guests we've had on here, including former federal law enforcement, nothing on the street is safe. Nothing.
So true. That goes for friends and family. You just if you're gonna get something, get it from a dispensary, and it's real important. There's just you just don't know where they're getting it from, and like Paula said, it's getting dangerous, and it's still dangerous, and will continue to be dangerous because the fentanyl is unseen. You can't see it really, when it's laced on all these different drugs, and from pills to marijuana to heroin to cocaine, it's all in there. So nothing, you can't escape it with any drug. Just assume that it's all in there. It's in there, and it's going to kill you.
Correct. Because I equate it to this, and I always say this to people, think of fentanyl as your carbon monoxide. You can't see it, taste it, or feel it. It's just, or smell it. So it's kind of the same concept. And this is why we tell people that this is why they're putting it in the gummy bears, in the vape pens, in the marijuana, the coke, meth, everything, the pills, because you can't taste it. There's not a difference that people are getting. And we have, unfortunately, people who are addicted to fentanyl, as we know, who are trying to be on the path of recovery. It's another thing that the reason that the cartel continues to do this, and again, all of you know, we actually had someone on here, Charlie and I, about a month ago now, a month and a half ago, who was a former drug dealer. And he talked about it, and he talked about why they're putting it in, because of how cheap it is and how cost effective it is to put out in the street. And when they're killing people, they don't care, because to them that's the block that they're going to go to get their product, because hey, they have the best product. So please be aware and take care of people, be kind. We continue to have the stigma of it's this is just an addict problem, and that is so far from the truth.
Hmm.
So we need to change that mentality, and that's something that I am working very hard on, as I know you are, Charlie, with us, and just even in general. People need to stop having that stigma. This is not an addict problem.
Yeah, it's this is the reason why this. I mean, we always want to have a conversation and get something out, but this is a conversation that we can at least count on, you know, on this podcast, to have a conversation with many people, whether you're commenting here live or commenting later on after the show or before the show. And it's real important because a lot of people are so unaware um, about fentanyl. And uh, it's amazing how some people say, no, what is that? I don't know what it is. um,
Yes.
and uh, and that's alarming because so many people have gone and passed and died or was killed as the pill poisoning does, and it's straight out murder. um Paula, I'm going to go on a little. I want to kind of deliver a message and to some friends out there. And when you have relatives of yours or friends that are kind of going through some situation with fentanyl and opioids, um, the best thing you want to do is the one thing you want to do is love them, and love them and try to get them as much help as possible to kind of get recovered or recovery. And but the when it comes to recovery, it's so important that the person that you're trying to get some help wants to do it themselves also. Um, and as you're trying to do this and get them some help, you're also doing the best you know how, right? And that's just caring for some people. Um, and as you're caring for people, it becomes such a job and such an important thing to you that that's all you do. And we kind of forget about self care. We forget about the self care where, you're not looking at yourself, you're looking at everything around you, everything from um, friends, relatives, you know, inside and outside your house, and then you forget about yourself. And then when you remember about yourself, you're getting extremely depressed. And when you're depressed, that's no time. That's not the time that you want to help yourself. That is a very, very bad, bad time for you to seek out help on your own because your mindset is at a depression state. And it's so important that that when you self care, and that's what my message is today, is that the self care and take care of yourself. It's so important. And as a podcast host here with Paula, and also friends and family of yours, I'm telling you that if you need some help, reach out to someone that you depend on that can get you some help right now. And I'm just talking about the bystander, right? The bystander, the one that's is trying to get someone help that is addicted, or trying to get some recovery. It's real important that you extend your hands now while you're in a state where you can clearly think about, doing the right thing. Getting depressed is and if you know it, so people don't know it, that's not the time to grab some help. If you need it now, reach out. Reach out. Whether you're here locally, there's always a national number where you can get some help. Um, and you don't have to be addicted on any drugs. You're just a family or caring Samaritan, as I say, for your friends or family, and get that help because it's very very important. Um, and that's it. That's my tear for today. Christy had said something and I didn't read it, but
Yeah.
can you read it, Paula?
She says, yes, my son is not ready. It sucks watching him suffer. It's very depressing. And she says, come to Florida. I will say, though, Christy, one of the things that I have been blessed in my journey, and Charlie knows this, is the connections that I've been able to make. And please reach out to me because I have someone to connect you to. He actually is going to be on our podcast on the 16th, which is December 16th on a Monday. And this is someone who is absolutely amazing, 20 years of addiction, and is now on a path of recovery and is just doing amazing things in California and for the community and the recovery community. And he is just an amazing person. Um, and I can tell you that I have already sent some folks to him. And it's just, sometimes you need to hear from someone who has been there to be able to help that person. And that's one of the things I firmly believe in because, again, as all of Andrew did not suffer from substance use. He just smoked marijuana for his PTSD and some depression due to the car accident that he had. So, but that doesn't mean that they're not important because they are. They are very important. And having these people that Charlie and I can give to you, to give to anybody, is so impactful because, again, I have not gone through this as some parents are, but that doesn't mean I don't care to be able to help in any way that Charlie and I can. And I think that's what people need to also understand from us doing this podcast and having all these wonderful guests that keep coming on every week, that we're bringing people to you where you're going to be able to utilize them. This is not just someone that is going to be, oh, they're just Paula and Charlie's friend. No, we bring people on here for you to understand that you can also reach out to them, because some of the folks are people that you're going to need to reach out to because they can understand the situation and be able to help and give you a path that will need to be taken forward, whereas to I cannot do that. And I would never say that I can. I mean, I can talk to you, I can hear you, I can listen, but when it comes to the path of putting someone into the recovery journey, that's where I connect you to the people who do it best.
Yeah, so true. The we gotta pay attention. Especially Christy says thank you and you're welcome.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Christy.
yeah. I try to make sure that I'm very, very, open when it comes to my inbox on Facebook and and always available for someone, even if it's not right away. But I at least want to give that contact, or at least someone needs to speak to someone. They can at least reach out to me, and if it's a way above my pay grade, guess what? I'm going to send you in another direction, but I'm going to make sure you get the help that you need. Um,
Right.
Maybe you can't take the police officer out of me. Retirement is definitely is not retirement. I'm still doing some some things out in the community that it's I guess it never goes away. The title is never going to go away from me. It's always going to be there. As far as the community's involved, they're still going to reach out to me, and I don't mind it, you know. But I can only do what I'm doing now. I can only talk and kind of network and do all those things because let's just face it, I don't have. I have a badge, I have a gun, but I don't have the powers anymore to do the arresting. So or do the inquiries for people. So, but most of the time, I can just pick up a phone and someone will connect me to the right people. Um, so
But
the
it's still but it's still very important though, Charlie, and I think you need to remember that, because just because you say you don't have the power, but you do. And that's where I think, maybe just a little tweaking of the thought process here. Just because someone has a badge doesn't mean that they hold this pristine power. There's so many people that we've seen that have a badge that shouldn't. And then
mhm,
there's people who are in places like you are right now, where you continue to be a pillar in the community, and people know that when they reach out to you, they have someone who's listening. And that just comes from who you are, because trust me, I've come across, you all know my story. I've come across some law enforcement where I just want to throat punch them.
yeah,
Uh,
we all do. We all have that some I used to say over the years that the toughest thing about the job is the people you work with, and it's so true in law enforcement. So and then some of the greatest people you meet on that job. Um, well, some of the people you meet on the job are some of the greatest people that I met in my life. So
yeah.
it's a good, bad, and ugly, and I get it. Um, so Christy says, "Can you read that, Paula?" Only because
He's been in these places so many times in this year. He's been in 8 places already, come out back at it again, does it all over again. I cry every day, sleepless nights. It's affecting me a lot. And see, and this is one of the things that we need to talk about too, is how this affects the families.
hmm,
Again, it's a domino effect. I talk about this all the time. It's you can't continue to think that just because parents are trying to help their children in certain things, that they're not also suffering, because they
yeah,
are, and those around them. And this is why I think it's so imperative and so important that if we have the opportunity to help people, and we can, then that's our duty. That's our duty to do that. That's what makes it you good humans. And so
hmm,
many people have the opportunity to help, but there's a hidden agenda attached to it. And I can tell you that, and I know you, Charlie, and I know I can make this comment. This is definitely not you or I.
Hmm. Yeah.
We don't do it for a hidden agenda. We don't do it because of clout. We don't do it for a photo op. That's not what we do it for.
Yeah. It's so true. The we every week, every day of the week actually, I think about this show and what to do, what to say, um, and it's become part of my life. And along with many other shows that I'm involved in, and it's real important. When you're the messenger, you got to give out the right stuff, and that's when you come in to kind of make sure that we are presenting the right stuff and the most
Yes,
and the factual stuff. And so and I didn't realize how many people we are reaching. Um, and sometimes it doesn't, you know, it may not show some numbers in the comment section, but there's definitely a consistent base of people that have been watching and paying attention. So I want to kind of give you applause and applause for just sticking with us, sticking with me, and doing this every week.
absolutely. And I think that one of the biggest things that we continue to do is on our platform is we're talking about this because it needs to be talked about, but we're also bringing others to the table. We've brought people from the recovery community to our venue. We've brought federal, agents, local agents. I mean, we're bringing everyone to the table so all of you can hear the same message that we're hearing. And so all of you can truly be abreast of everything that's going on in the community so that you know that you have the same option that we do.
Exactly. The
And Christy, I definitely, I think doing this every day, I agree with you, but please know that you can always reach out to Charlie and I. I'll send you my number because it's very important that you understand that we are here for you. We are here to help you in any way that we can. I mean, obviously, we can't guarantee anything, but if we have the opportunity to help and connect you to someone, then that's exactly what we're going to do.
yeah, yeah. I'd like it's something that well, on all the platforms you can do something every day. And I just don't have the availability to. If I was really retired like I say I am, but I'm not. I'm still working. I would gladly be on it every morning. You know, let the alarm clock ring, get ready, and just get on. And that's how you build followers. If you're
Yeah.
doing it every day, and it's like it's like a news station. So I like that. I wish I can do it every day. You know.
Yeah, and
Um,
I mean, and doing it every week, I think what it does is it brings something different to the table because every week we bring someone new, we bring new information to all of you. And again, we've said this numerous times, if any of you want to be on or even someone from the community, we welcome it. I
yeah,
mean, because look, I can get a lot of people on here. As Charlie knows, we were just talking before the podcast. We're going to be booked for the next 4 or 5 weeks of guests. And he thought he was taking a break. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
And he,
Thought it was. I put the slip in. Put the time off in.
but you know what? We have so many things, so many amazing people that we're going to be bringing on. Again, we got to do it bigger and better. 2025 is coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Christy said a last comment. It says, I would do I would be crying the whole time. Yeah, you probably would. There's no doubt about it.
And that's okay. And
Yeah,
that's a
that was,
normal human reaction to have. There is nothing wrong with that. I hope that you understand that. That is okay. Um, because that's a human emotion. And sometimes with people, if they don't have that emotion, you have to kind of sit back and question and make sure that that person's okay. Because there is so much that's going on.
yeah, and Christy, it's easy. Like if you're worried about visual or video, you could. There's so many ways of doing it. I'm gonna see if I can do it real quick. It's not gonna show it, but you could put an avatar right here where I'm at, and you can just talk from, even if it's not through a connection of Facebook. You know, you can call on the phone. I could put it right here, right in front of me, and put it on speaker, and you can just talk and explain, and just say what, just tell your story. Tell your story, and so there's a lot of time. I mean, crying is sometimes crying. People want that to be private, and I get it. But if you want it to be private, there's many things we can do. Um, Audio is amazing. So let's see.
Absolutely. And then I think the other thing too is that with the holidays coming and the kids going to be out for winter break soon for Christmas break, again, we want to make sure that people understand the awareness. People are passing out candy. Kids are home alone because their parents are working or they're going to the rec or wherever they're going. And, vaping is a huge thing right now. And kids are doing it because, quote unquote, as I was told, it's sexy, Miss Paula. That's what
Mm,
I was told. And, please, please, please talk to your children, because you definitely don't want you definitely don't want to be in a situation, as so many parents have been in, including us, losing our child unexpectedly because he was given something by someone he knew and did not know that it was laced.
yeah, it's the remember 2 weeks ago we had Marvin and Liz and Phil on and yourself, and we talked, and that was a very elusive type interview. Everyone was kind of speaking from the deepest parts of their soul, and I'd like to bring that here to Fentanyl Facts and Stories, because when people feel you're genuine, they're gonna definitely listen to you, and if they're listening, then your message has definitely come across, um, to the people that need it. Let's see. So Paula, you and Christy are connected on Facebook.
We are, but I just sent you a message. If you could send to her. Um, Sorry, I got to put my readers on. This is when you
Yeah.
know you're old.
Okay, I got it. Copy that. And Christy, I'm going to send you a number and a name. That way you'll have, and definitely reach out. Even if you leave a voicemail, just definitely do it and go from there.
And I think the other thing too is that one of the things that we also need to be very aware of is please understand that, you know, if something doesn't sound right or something, you have a question about something, please let us know. put that out there and just say, hey, you guys said this, and I kind of heard this, and I want to get the true facts. Um, and that's what we're here for. We're here to
Yeah.
bring you the facts. We're here to bring you the messaging. We're here to bring you exactly what it is that everyone needs to hear of what's happening with this crisis. I mean, all of you heard the deputy chief talk about pink cocaine in New Jersey, and that's a huge thing right now in New Jersey, and they know that it's going to start coming here. And again, it's stronger as a stronger opioid with everything that they're mixing in it. So, they're not going to stop what they're doing. I think this is what people need to understand. They're just going to continue to do different things in different ways.
Yeah. They definitely will adapt and make sure that they are continually financially fit and making their money as much as they can. So, and if that causes them to adapt and rethink of what they're doing, they're gonna definitely do it, and they're gonna do it.
Exactly.
They're gonna do it very quickly. It's not something that's gonna, well, we got to do this. It's gonna happen like just as someone saying it right out loud. Look, we got to make changes, and they're gonna make changes now, and it's gonna happen that quickly. So the
Right. And I
uh,
think the other thing too is, Agent Karen talked about it when he was on with us. One of the things he said is a lot of the folks that are in different settings of, everyone's talking about the many of the immigrants that are in different states and different cities, and everyone thinks that, everybody wants to just kick them out, and that's not what this is about. This is about the criminals that are also coming through, and the people that are not being vetted, and the ones that you hear about that are being busted, and then they find out that they have a criminal record as long as New York. And that's the problem that we're seeing. And again, we've had people on here talking about that because they're seeing it firsthand. So this is why we continue to say there has to be something in place. I mean, look, we all come from families that weren't here in this country, right?
mhm,
And we would never say that no one is welcome. But just as my parents had to, and your family, Charlie, and so many others, we need to make sure that things are done the way they were back then. When my family came, they had paperwork, they had to be vetted, they had to go through all these processes. That's what needs to continue to happen. Yes, we're America, we're a melting pot. We always have our hands open because we're caring and we want to help everyone. But we also want to make sure that those that have criminal records don't come here and hurt or kill innocent people either.
yeah. The I just found out that a, a lot of the borders from Canada and Mexico, it seems like they're ready to go ahead and get things going. Um, and
Yes.
so it's definitely going to happen. The only thing is, I think this is going to happen. This is just my opinion, but think of very, I think the awareness is going to get so not it's going to magnify. It's going to be extremely out there so much because what's going to happen is, believe it or not, this next administration is going to be critiqued to the utmost, and only because when you kind of when you're putting your message out and what you're going to do, and there's also some kind of attack as it's perceived, then the whole world's going to kind of have their eye on Washington D.C.
Right.
And that's everybody. Not, I mean, that's not just the president. That's going to be everybody. So, and that's good. To me, that's good. All right. And I always said, if you're gonna if you're worried about me, then you can watch me 24 hours, 7 days out of the week. Just go ahead
Right.
and watch. Get some popcorn and watch me. I'm just gonna always try to do the right thing, as best as I can. Um, and so, I think that if any politician is in it for the right reasons, guess what? They're probably saying the same thing. Watch me. Just sit me, watch me do my thing, and I'm gonna try to do whatever I have to get things done. Um,
I think what's
so
happening right now, and and I hate talking about politics and I try never to talk about politics, but I think what's happening is that there's so much finger pointing happening that it's becoming inundated. I mean, I saw today on the news that a this Democrat from Fall River, I can't remember his name, he's changing his party. He's not going to be a Democrat anymore. He's going to be a Republican because he said that the Democratic Party left him. And I think what people need to understand is, you know, and I've said this before, you need to pay attention to people and what they're doing on both sides. You can't just follow a party because it's, oh, that's the party I'm going to follow. No, you have to pay attention to what they're doing or not doing. And I think that's one of the biggest things right now. There's so much going on right now in the parties, both sides, where you have to take a step back and truly see what's happening. And I've talked about this numerous times, and I've said that, one of the things that the Democratic Party did wrong, and I have said this and I've put it out there, is at the Democratic National Convention that lasted for 4 days, no one spoke about this crisis. Not a person, no one, in 4 days.
mhm,
Now you flip the coin to the Republican Party, and they talked about it. They had people who were saying what they're going to do. They also had people who indicated, they had a mom who came on to speak and how she lost her son and he was in college. If you're going to avoid a crisis that is wiping out a whole generation, then what do you expect?
mhm.
What do you
Yeah, and there's been it's been so much kind of we're the laughing stock of the whole world, believe it or not.
Oh, oh,
Because,
who are you telling? I have family in Europe.
yeah, and oh, by the way, I want to say hi to Lee Rocha, a former, past, Really Charlie podcast guest. Lee is a chef. He does amazing things, and welcome aboard. And I'm glad you joined us.
Oh,
Um,
lovely. Nice to meet you. A chef. Wow, don't let my husband hear you say that.
yeah, yeah,
He'll be
yeah.
calling Lee.
hmm he definitely. I try to post his videos all the time, but to get back to, we clearly become the laughing stock of the world, and we wasn't like that,
No.
it wasn't like that, and I think just as it's probably been the past, what, 12 years, it's been like that, um and it's going to take another 12 years to recover. It really
Right.
is. It's gonna. So
And the thing
um
is, too, the thing is that, we're seeing everyone that's being picked for certain cabinet positions. And, a lot of things are already being said about the certain picks. And listen, everyone already knew that he was going to pick his friends. Everyone knew that. So it's nothing that no one is not expecting. But I think one of the things also that we have to pay attention to is, I can tell you that one of the things that some of the folks that he has picked is already talking about right off the bat, day one, they're going to battle this crisis,
yeah.
and they're going to take it head on. And I mean, again, this is what I mean, we talk about, right? This is what Charlie and I talk about. You have a party here in Massachusetts that is run by Democrats, and ask me who's talking about it.
Yeah.
But yet they're going to yell and scream because someone else is talking about it and because of people that they're putting to a cabinet.
Well, we gotta definitely put your money where your mouth is,
Absolutely.
and they really have to do that, because it's real important. Um,
Absolutely. Yes. And continuing, and it's kind of like Paul Gomes said, you know, and thank you for being on, for joining us, Paul. It's exactly what it is. It's continuing the message. It's, you can't let what's going on around you stop the mission and the messaging that we are putting out,
yeah, so true.
because there's so much noise going on right now, right? I mean, we have our own delegates who are fighting against each other. And when you see that, you're kind of like, okay, then who are we going to listen to? How can you
Yeah.
say that you're a party for us and you're protecting us and you're there for us when you guys are fighting amongst each other?
Well, it's sometimes we have I try to tell people, don't pay attention to what's on the stage.
Right.
Pay attention what's around the stage. Pay attention to,
Exactly.
or even on the way to the stage. Pay attention to those things, because sometimes those stage and those soapbox sermons that were getting blasted in the news in all directions, those are just they're giving you pieces of what they want you to hear.
Right.
And so what I try to tell everybody is that, you know what, come on podcast, go on YouTube, go on Spotify, go on all the different platforms. Start looking at all those different shows that are out there, because
Yeah.
what happens is they talk. Paula and I are on an hour a week, and we're talking, and we're getting comics from everyone, that is listening to us, and it's a conversation. So I try to tell everybody, don't focus on what's on the news every single day, because it's going to get you blindsided, for even if it's momentarily, or it isn't momentarily, but it's going to get you blindsided. And what you should do is kind of pay attention to some of the things that are out there, and it's an amazing, you have, I think it's 5 million plus podcasts and that are on the internet.
Yeah.
5 million. There's so many different things, and say your view is your view is your view, and there's always going to be someone out there that's going to agree with you, or agree, or you're going to agree with them. But there's so many different topics out there, and then it's just amazing. So I'm just encouraging everybody um to stop grabbing that remote and putting on the TV news. Do some research on your PC or in your phone, your laptop, and start listening to some podcasts that are out there. And YouTube is a great source, and that's where I go. And the one thing that YouTube, it lets you be who you want to be, and it's very nice.
Right.
Uh, Paul says what he said. Just finished a CPR class on training people how to use Narcan, and what to talk with your children about awareness, and I appreciate that, Paul. That's definitely something that we need to do. And if you want to produce a video, I know you're camera shy, but that's something. If especially with all your training, you want to end up doing something, let me know. Whether it's audio or video, let me know and we can talk about it, and we can get the message out. Because I would gladly put you down on the bottom line. This show is brought to you by, um, you know, Paul Gomes, CPR instructor, first responder instructor, and then we could just kind of deliver a message on the bottom line, or even a quick video. If I go to your classes and people don't mind being videotaped, I can do that. But Paul, thank you as always.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And again, this is why we do what we do. We do this because we're bringing the awareness, the advocacy, the education, the prevention of all of this. And I've said this multiple times. It's going to take all of us working together. I'm so tired of the silos that continue to happen in the community of, I don't need to work with so and so because of whatever. That's not how we're going to combat this. It's not. We have to work together. And too many people have too big of egos, and it's getting people killed.
mm-hmm. So true.
But I know, okay, so it's 8:24. We're coming to an end. Next week we have a great guest on Monday, Colin Gage. Colin Gage is amazing. He is a former hedge fund person, and he is now has his own company. He is creating something to combat fentanyl. I will not say anything else. You all have to tune in next Monday at 7:30. And he will tell you all about what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's an amazing story. But my football question, I think people just turn on just to see the football question you're going to ask me.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I think we do a good time. We do a good thing
Oh, no,
before
that too.
football
No, that
question.
too. But they definitely want to see the football question because they know I
Yeah.
forget, know nothing about sports. So,
Okay. When the announcers come on TV and they say first and 10, what does that mean?
of course, you would ask me a question that I don't know. I don't know. Does that mean, hold on. Okay. Does that mean that they're at the 10-yard line? Is that
Uh,
where they are
oh, you got the 10 yards right. What it means is it's first down and they have 10 yards
to
to
go?
make another first down. So first
Okay.
and 10. So usually when a player either runs or catches the ball past 10 yards, the announcer would say it's first and 10, and they get another set of downs, four downs, um, to go ahead and score.
First down.
So
See, I didn't have the option to call a friend today. Okay. So,
mhm. Well, Jack helped you out a little bit. He
thank
said
you, Jack.
first down
Thank
over
you.
there.
Thank you. Because everyone knows I know nothing about this. Charlie, I was thinking we should do a podcast of sports where you have people come on who actually know stuff, and I'm going to come on of the person who doesn't.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be funny.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of people.
Yeah, we definitely be on what's it Alfonso Ribeiro's show, the
Oh, absolutely.
America's funniest video, and
Well,
that
that's
w-
like the Patriots. I mean, like, come on, what are they doing? Honestly, look, again, I'm not looking for anybody to come and attack me. I'm just saying, if I was the manager or the owner, I think I would have gotten rid of a couple people already. Just saying.
yeah, he's playing a well, he's being a little selfish with his money, and I think he's always profit over the years with Tom Brady and Belichick and that whole crew that came through, and the Kraft family has nothing to complain about because
Billionaires,
they
billionaires.
made much money. So now I think he's holding back on some money, especially to me, I think they were being hypocritical because they said they were going to burn some money and spend it, and they didn't. There's
Right,
more than enough people out there that they can go get, and they didn't. I think what he's doing is he's going to take his lumps, and the team that he has up there, they're going to go through it, and then as soon as the season's over, as soon as they can negotiate and talk with people, they're going to be doing it. But
right.
I think they're just being cheapskates, and let's just say I am not a Robert Kraft fan, and
Well, you know that his feelings are hurt because he got snubbed again for the I'm sorry, for the Hall of Fame, the football Hall
yes,
of Fame. So he's all in his feelings right now.
yeah, yeah, and well, he before he could kind of talk the talk, and when you're winning, you kind of have everybody's ear, but now that he's losing, he doesn't have anybody's ear, and they really don't want to hear it, you know. And should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, the accomplishment that he has was the of first of forever. You know, his team accomplished so much in that period of time for a long period of time, and I think he should go there. Um, but I ain't fighting for him anymore. No more. I just don't want to fight for him anymore. I am very happy supporting my team. But when it comes to Robert Kraft, I could care less what happens with him. Um,
Right. Well, there are people who will say that he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame because Jerry Jones. So he should be in there. And again, this is not me. This is people.
yeah, yeah. And let's see, what's Jack say down here? He says,
Pats fan and not used to that though.
yeah, yeah, they're not used to it, but hey, can't get any more loyal to me than and I just think that I when they won 2 games out of the season, I was there, you know, rooting for them and got pictures to show it, you know, and I'll go through it again. But I'm very, very happy with this quarterback. And initially, I wasn't, you know, um, but I didn't see enough of him. They were kind of hiding. They were kind of hiding him a little bit, not giving us too much work with him, and so I didn't have a real good impression of him. Not as far as a player, I thought maybe he was a backup, but I am clearly very, very happy with him and a good line. I think we would stay active in most games and be competitive in most games come 2025.
Right.
Um,
I
so,
agree.
and you gotta when you say your prayers later on and you talk with Andrew, you gotta tell him he's got to do something about your Jets. His Jet,
Listen,
he's
I'm telling you, I'm ready to make a call. Okay. I am ready to
yeah,
make a call because I am so tired of what's his face, the friggin' quarterback. He just,
Rogers, yeah,
I can't
Aaron
with him.
Rodgers,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't. I can't.
Well, they knew that. They knew his reputation. They knew he's like a dark cloud. He's
He's a jerk. He
and
got the freaking coach fired. And that
yeah,
coach had done so much good for that team. And I don't care what anybody says, he got the coach fired. And then he got another player, I can't think of his name. And now they're still losing. So it's like, really, dude? So the problem wasn't the coach. The problem is freaking you thinking you're on a pedestal and you walk on water. See, this is why God will never freaking bless me with billions, because I would be the I would be the freaking owner that would be like, no, I'm done. Goodbye. Get the hell out of my face. I don't care who you are. No, we're not playing. Because it's kind of like the Red Sox, and everybody remembers the Red Sox, and when it was Manny being Manny. No, that's BS. You're
mhm,
acting the fool. You're not playing, and you're not going to get paid. How about that?
yeah.
That's why my husband says I'll never own a team, because he said I would have no players.
No, they all leave, right?
Right.
The
And you know what I told them? I said, that's your interpretation. Maybe that's
mhm,
what they need. Because remember, if we all remember correctly, wasn't there a woman
yeah,
that
for the
that was the owner of a football team because her husband had passed away?
Detroit Lions and the Rams, the
Right.
Los Angeles Rams. Yep.
There you go. And
Yeah.
look phenomenal that those women did.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
they knew a lot more than me, but still, this is what I'm saying is that I think that these players today are so freaking bougie that it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And I forgot about this one. Jack's correct.
Tennessee
Tennessee
Titan.
Titans. Yep. The and so it's definitely, and women are getting empowered and they're putting in places, and they're actually showing up. They're Detroit Lions fans haven't been so happy in these past 3 or 4 years. They have been extremely happy football fans, and that's due to their owner. Getting the right guy, getting the right players, and voila, here we are.
Right. And sometimes it's benching your quarterback. I mean, that just happened in North Carolina, where they benched the quarterback for Bryce Young,
Yeah.
for a couple of games for him to get his whatever, his mojo, his act together. And look,
Hmm.
he did phenomenal yesterday. So,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's what it's about. It's not always playing that person because they're quote unquote the superstar. And really, these salaries that these people are making, for crying out loud, you're throwing a freaking ball. Honestly, come on.
Listen, there's a lot of love in that football, and
I
it
don't care.
comes with a lot of love. A lot of people pay big money, and you know what? If you put all the players together, and all their salary, it it's not even 1% of what the owners make.
Oh, no, I know that. I say it all the time. I said the NFL could literally wipe out hunger.
Yeah, yeah, good. The but I like what they did this week. Everyone had their charities on their
Yes.
shoes, and they were showing improving. And there's one thing I really
Yes, we're
en-
trying to get one of them to wear Achieve Greatness cleat.
that would be awesome.
We are
That
trying.
would be yeah. I got no.
Apparently, having a conversation with Josh Kraft isn't enough.
Hmm.
Apparently, I need to talk to his dad.
Mm, well, you could do it. I got no doubts, and when it comes to you and Phil, definitely gonna do it. Um, and the last comment of the night, it says,
Daughter
depend-
of the former owner.
yes, okay, good. Yeah, I believe he had some problems, wasn't it? Oh, no, 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 sorry, that wasn't Tennessee. That was Carolina. Their owner had some problems, and they were talking about selling the team, but I think it was Carolina.
Well, that's what the Celtics are trying to do. He's trying to sell the team.
Yeah, I think he's probably reconsidering. But he's still
Well,
around, and there's more than enough. I mean, to the Boston Celtics sells itself. I think he eventually will sell it.
well, he doesn't have an option because his dad's the majority owner, and his
Mm,
dad wants out, so he has no choice.
mm,
But from
mm.
what I understand, and I found this out the other day, which I found amazing. I didn't know that he comes here to New Bedford all the time, and he actually plays in a band at the Cove.
Very nice. That's it. Bud Adams. Yeah, that's right, Jack. That's nice to know. That's very nice to know that. Um,
Charlie,
and
you should know women are like we're better than the FBI. We will find the we
yeah,
will find out the information.
yeah, it's I'm happy. I love when people come to New Bedford,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I really do. It's means a lot to me.
We, we have a great city. I mean, yeah, we have some politicians that need to be kicked into the ocean, but other than that, we have a lot of amazing people in this community, in the city, who have been here, a lot of wonderful, advocates and just people in general who love where they live and they are giving back. And that's amazing. And that's what you want. And yeah, we have some people that, like I said, they need to be thrown into the ocean. But besides that, it's a city of people filled with love for everyone.
so true. Um, Jack says my wife
The glory of my
is
life.
in glory. Yeah, yeah, definitely. She is great person. Um, Known her since the high school, and we've been friends ever since. You know.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, high school, because I literally don't talk to anyone from high school. Because, it's like a clique.
Yeah.
Remember high school, everybody had the clique. You hung out at the locker and you kind of like, that was your clique. And it's kind of, that's exactly how some of the people in this community are. It's the cliques.
Yeah. The cliques, the groupies, the cronies. Those are the three. Um, it's in everything. But
Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, I know you
all
want to
right.
go about because there's a game on. So everyone enjoy your evening. Have a great week. I hope everyone had a blessed and healthy Thanksgiving. Until next Monday, when we have a phenomenal guest who I swear to you looks like freaking Clark Kent. And wait till you see him. You're going to be like, holy wow, she wasn't lying.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Bill says it all the time. He's like, oh my God, this guy absolutely is like his twin. I said, I told you. What'd you think? I was lying? Yes. Awesome. No, Christy, thank you so much for joining us. And I think you got the message. So anything you need from us, please let us know. Jack, Paul, everyone who's been on, including the people that didn't comment. We thank you, Lee, for joining us again. And please stay warm because it is cold outside. And if you find an animal outside, please, please, please bring them to the shelter. Please do not leave the animals out.
Yeah. And good cities like New Bedford have animal controls, and they'll definitely get out there and get the dog a good home for at least overnight until they can make sure that they're properly cared for. There's a lot of different shelters. So
dog or cat. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. And don't leave them out there. And again, let's be kind to each other because everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about.
Yep. So true.
All right, my friend. Have a good night. Blessings to everyone. I will see you all next month with our amazing guest, and we hope that you all have a lot of great questions for him.
Exactly. I will see you guys. Take care on Facebook Live, YouTube, and usually on LinkedIn too, but tonight we're not on LinkedIn. Thank you for your great time. I appreciate it. And feel free, continue with the comments when you're listening to this podcast after the show's ended. And I'm gonna end this podcast with my favorite song, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Have a good night, Paula. Take care.
Thank you. You too, Charlie.
All right.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bump into your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.